Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch Gyan Bharatam portal at International Manuscript Conference in the national capital today, revitalizing India's unparalleled manuscript wealth. US State Secretary Marco Rubio backs Trump's ambassador pick Sergio Gore's remarks, calling India a strategic partner, says India is one of the top relationships. NATO allies bolster Poland air defense after drone raid blamed on Russia. India's Minister Jaishankar speaks to Polish counterpart, favors early end to hostilities, while Trump says the action could be a mistake. Qatar Prime Minister accuses Israel of trying to derail Gaza peace efforts. Expected to meet US President Trump, UNSC condemns the recent Doha strikes. Former President of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, found guilty in coup plot, sentenced 27 years and 3 months in prison. With an aim to revitalize India's unparalleled manuscript wealth, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the Gyan Bharatam portal, a dedicated digital platform to accelerate manuscript digitization, preservation and public access, and address the gathering on the occasion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the international conference on Gyan Bharatam at around 4:30 p.m. IST in the national capital. The Ministry of Culture's Gyan Bharatam is a landmark national initiative dedicated to preserving, digitization and disseminating India's manuscript heritage. Marking the formal launch of Gyan Bharatam mission, the ministry is organizing the first ever Gyan Bharatam International Conference on reclaiming India's knowledge legacy through manuscript heritage. Gyan Bharatam is part of a visionary national movement dedicated to safeguarding and disseminating India's vast manuscript wealth. It will serve both as a tribute to the nation's civilizational roots and as a forward-looking step towards Prime Minister's vision of Viksit Bharat by 2047, where India emerges as a true Vishwaguru. US envoy designate to India, Sergio Gore, has said that Washington and New Delhi are on track to resolve hiccups in their relationship. Speaking at his Senate confirmation hearing on Thursday, he underlined that India is a strategic partner whose trajectory will shape the region and beyond.
India is a strategic partner whose trajectory will shape the region and beyond. Under President Donald Trump's strong leadership, I'm committed to advancing America's interest in this important partnership. India's geographic position, economic growth, and military capabilities make it a cornerstone of regional stability and a critical part of promoting prosperity and advancing the security interests that our nations share. As Secretary Rubio noted, India is one of the most important relationships our nation has in the world. If confirmed as ambassador, I will work to deliver on the President's agenda and advance U.S. interests by increasing our defense cooperation, ensuring fair and beneficial trade, deepening energy security, and furthering technology.
He emphasized that India's geographic position, economic growth and military capabilities make it a cornerstone for regional stability and a crucial part of promoting shared prosperity and security interests.
We might have our moment of hiccups right now. We are on the track of resolving that. Our relationship with the Indian government, with the people of India, extends many more decades. And it's a much more...
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio too stressed that India is one of the top relationships in the U.S. In fact, the U.S. has in the world today. Supporting Sergio Gore at his confirmation hearing, Rubio said that Washington is in a period of extraordinary transition in that relationship with Delhi.
India is, I would say, one of the top relationships the United States has in the world today in terms of the future of what the world's going to look like. The 21st century, the story is going to be written in the Indo-Pacific. In fact, it's so important we've actually changed the name of the combatant command to the Indo-Pacific. India is at the core of that. And we are in a period of extraordinary transition in that relationship with India. We've got some really important issues coming up that we need to work with them on and work through.
Indian diplomat Kshitish Tyagi delivered a sharp response to Switzerland at a UN Human Rights Council meeting, calling its comments on India surprising, shallow and ill-informed. The response came a day after Switzerland called on India to protect the minorities and uphold freedom of speech and expression.
We would also like to respond to the surprising, shallow and ill-informed remarks made by Switzerland, a close friend and partner. As it holds the UNHRC presidency, it is all the more important for Switzerland to avoid wasting the Council's time with narratives that are blatantly false and do not do justice to the reality of India. Instead, it should focus on its own challenges such as racism, systematic discrimination and xenophobia. As the world's largest, most diverse and vibrant democracy, with a civilizational embrace of pluralism, India remains ready to help Switzerland address these concerns.
India's Vice President-elect Chandrapuram Ponuswamy Radhakrishnan will take oath today at Rashtrapati Bhavan in Delhi. President Draupadi Murmu will administer the oath of office to Radhakrishnan. On Wednesday, the Election Commission certified the election, declaring Radhakrishnan as the 15th Vice President of India. CP Radhakrishnan, who was set to win at least 437 votes, bagged 452 votes, indicating cross-voting by the India MPs. India candidate Sudarshan Reddy lost the election by a margin of 152 votes. India's Union Minister for New and Renewable Energy, Prasar Joshi, on Thursday launched a 100 crore rupees call for proposals to support startups working on green hydrogen innovation. The announcement was made at the first annual Green Hydrogen Research and Development Conference organized by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy in the national capital in New Delhi. Here, 25 startups are showcasing their innovations. The scheme will provide funding of up to 5 crore rupees per project for pilot projects in areas such as hydrogen production, storage, transport and utilization technologies. Addressing the event, Union Minister Prasar Joshi said that the initiative is aimed at turning research into practical solutions that can power industries, clean cities and generate lakhs of new jobs across the country. Prime Minister of Mauritius, Naveen Chandra Ramagulam, who is on an India visit till September 16th, will offer prayers at Baba Vishwanath Temple in Varanasi. On Thursday, the Indian Prime Minister hosted his Mauritian counterpart in his parliamentary constituency of Varanasi. After the bilateral talks, 7 MOUs were signed between the two nations in a meeting between Prime Minister Modi and his Mauritius counterpart, Naveen Chandra Ramagulam, in Varanasi. During the press statement, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced a special economic package for Mauritius and underscored that India and the island nation are not just partners but a family. Ramagulam praised India's timely support for the improvement of quality of life in the island nation. India and Mauritius share a close and special relationship rooted in shared historical, cultural and people-to-people ties. As India's key maritime neighbour in the Indian Ocean region, Mauritius holds a special place in India's Vision Mahasagar, that is mutual and holistic advancement for security and growth across the region, and also the Neighbourhood First policy, and is a key partner in the Global South. Later in the day, Prime Minister of Mauritius, Naveen Chandra Ramagulam, will visit Ayodhya, the holy city in the northern part of India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Dehradun and conducted a review meeting to assess the damage caused by floods in Uttarakhand. He announced financial assistance of 1,200 crore rupees, that is $135 million. He also announced a compensation of 200,000 rupees for the families of the deceased and 50,000 rupees for the injured. He also met the affected families to offer his condolences.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Dehradun and reviewed the flood situation and damage caused due to cloudbursts, rains and landslides in affected areas of Uttarakhand. PM Modi held an official meeting in Dehradun to review the relief and rehabilitation measures undertaken as well as assess the damage that has occurred in Uttarakhand. PM announced financial assistance of 1,200 crore rupees for Uttarakhand. PM emphasized the need for a multidimensional approach to help the entire region and its people recover. This would include measures such as rebuilding homes under the PM Awas Yojana, restoring national highways, reconstructing schools, providing relief through the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund, and distributing mini kits for livestock. Under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Grameen, financial assistance will be extended under special project submitted by Government of Uttarakhand for reconstruction of houses in rural areas to eligible households whose houses have been damaged due to floods. The Union Government has already sent interministerial central teams to visit Uttarakhand to assess the extent of damage, and based on their detailed report, further assistance will be considered. PM expressed his condolences to the family members of those who have lost their lives in the natural calamity and stated that the Union Government will work closely with the state governments at this difficult time and extend all possible assistance. The PM met families from Uttarakhand who had been affected by the recent natural calamities, including landslides and floods. PM Modi also announced an ex gratia of 2 lakh rupees for the next of kin of the deceased and 50,000 rupees for those seriously injured in the floods and related disasters. The Prime Minister declared that children orphaned by recent floods and landslides will receive assistance through the PM Cares for Children scheme, ensuring their long-term care and welfare. The Prime Minister also stated that the assistance under the purview of the Disaster Management Act and rules, including advanced disbursements to the states being announced at this stage, are for the interim period. PM Modi also met personnel of the NDRF, SDRF and Aapda Mitra volunteers and praised their efforts in immediate relief and response. The Prime Minister acknowledged the gravity of the situation and assured that the central government will make all efforts to address the situation. Bureau Report, DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, investigators find new lead in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Investigation underway to determine the cause of a gas truck explosion on a highway in southeast Mexico City. Cuba restores power grid 24 hours after major crash, leaving 9.7 million residents bereft of electricity.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Tamil Nadu is breathtaking, enchanting, divine, come. Revel in the spirit of Tamil Nadu. The Thalaiva of States welcomes you to an experience larger than life.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News. Let's continue getting more updates. Several NATO members are sending troops, artillery and air defense systems to secure its eastern flank after what Poland called an unprecedented Russian drone incursion into its airspace. Among the first ones is France, which will deploy 3 Rafale fighter jets to help Poland protect its airspace. Announcing the same, President Macron said that Rafale fighter jets will contribute to the protection of Polish airspace and of NATO's eastern flank together with our allies. He added that the security of the European continent is our top priority. Macron stressed that NATO countries will not give in to Russia's increasing intimidation. Germany too said that it would extend and expand its participation in NATO's air policing program to provide more cover to Polish airspace. Its defense ministry said that it would double the number of Eurofighter jets deployed to 4 and extend their mission by 3 months to the end of the year. Czech Republic too has said that it stands firmly with Poland. Lebowski said on social media platform X, and I quote, "Russia drones in Poland are a pure provocation by the Kremlin. Czechia stands firmly with Poland. We will defend the alliance territory." Meanwhile, Poland has requested a UN Security Council session about the incident. Members Slovenia, Denmark, Greece, France and Britain too asked the 15-member body to meet over the incident. The meeting will take place on Friday at 1900 GMT. Meanwhile, Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk urged NATO allies not to pretend nothing happened. Speaking to media after a National Security Council meeting, Tusk said Poland was certain that Russia was behind the attack, something he said was uncomfortable for those pushing for normalization with Moscow.
We don't think Russia is behind this provocation. We know it. However, I also understand that for all those who would like some kind of normalization, stabilization, some kind of policy of understanding with Russia, this situation is very uncomfortable. Because if what happened in the Polish skies on the night of September 10th is happening, it's hard to pretend that nothing happened. I hope that none of our allies will pretend that nothing happened, because it did happen. There have been unequivocal declarations of practical support for Poland. I heard this very clearly and unambiguously from the President of France, as well as the leaders of Great Britain, the Netherlands and Sweden.
Poland has said that 19 objects had entered its airspace during a large Russian air attack on Ukraine and that it had shot down those posing a threat. Moscow denied responsibility for the incident, saying it had not planned to hit any targets in Poland. India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, spoke to Deputy Prime Minister and counterpart Radoslaw Sikorski on Thursday. He shared his concern about the recent developments pertaining to Poland's security. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar underlined that India favors an early end to the hostilities and a durable solution for the Ukraine conflict. US President Donald Trump, however, said that Russia's drone incursion into Poland could have been a mistake.
What's your reaction to Russian drone incursion into Poland?
Could have been a mistake. Could have been a mistake. But regardless, I'm not happy about anything having to do with that whole situation. But hopefully it's going to come to an end.
Moving on to developments related to Israeli strikes on Qatar now, which have been condemned by the UN Security Council on Thursday. The members called for de-escalation in the statement agreed by all 15, including Israel's ally, the United States. The widely condemned Doha operation was especially sensitive because Qatar has been hosting and mediating negotiations aimed at securing a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas conflict. Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani also accused Israel of trying to derail efforts to end the war in Gaza by attacking Hamas leaders in Doha, but pledged to continue its mediation efforts.
We believe fully in mediation and the peaceful settlement of disputes, and Qatar's role is being appreciated worldwide. Our efforts have proven that our efforts in cooperation with the United States and Egypt has led to tangible results. It led to the release of 148 hostages. It has led to providing humanitarian aid to Gaza. It was a glimmer of hope, a rare glimmer of hope in this Gaza. But attacking our territories while we were busy with negotiations has uncovered the intention of Israel. It is trying to undermine any prospect of peace.
Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani will also be visiting New York and Washington on Friday and is expected to meet US officials to discuss the Israeli strike and the status of ceasefire talks in Gaza. Reportedly, he is expected to see President Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, the report added. Former Brazil President Jair Bolsonaro has been sentenced to 27 years and 3 months in prison after being found guilty of plotting a military coup. A panel of 5 Supreme Court justices handed down the sentence just hours after they had convicted the former leader. They ruled he was guilty of leading a conspiracy aimed at keeping him in power after he lost the 2022 election to his left-wing rival, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. 4 of the justices found him guilty, while 1 voted to acquit him. Bolsonaro did not attend the trial, but has in the past called it a witch hunt. He now faces the prospect of spending the rest of his life in prison. His lawyers are expected to argue that he should be kept under house arrest instead of being sent to jail and will also plead for a lower sentence. However, they will not be able to appeal against the verdict itself, as that would only have been possible if 2 out of the 5 justices had voted to acquit. Bolsonaro was found guilty of 5 charges, all relating to his attempt to cling to power after he was beaten in the 2022 election. South Sudan's first Vice President, Riek Machar, has been charged with murder, treason and crimes against humanity on Thursday for his alleged involvement in an attack by ethnic militia against federal forces in March. The Vice President has been under house arrest since March in connection with the attacks by the White Army militia in the northeastern town of Nasir. Justice Minister Gyan added that 20 individuals, including former Petroleum Minister Pout Kang Chol, have been indicted, with 13 still on the run. The charges against Machar escalate a feud between the country's 2 main political camps, the other led by President Salva Kiir, while the international powers have reportedly called for Machar's release, warning the detention could tip the country back to civil war. US investigators on Thursday released the images of a person of interest in the fatal shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk and said that they had found the bolt-action rifle believed to have been used in the politically charged killing. The shooter has not been publicly identified and investigators are yet to publicly discuss any motive, but US President Trump told reporters that he had an indication of the killer's motivation.
Rather not say. I think progress is being made. He's an animal, total animal. And hopefully they'll have him and they'll get him. What he did is disgraceful. Charlie Kirk was a great person, a great man, great in every way, especially with youth. And what he did, what this man did, was disgraceful. So hopefully we'll have him and we will deal with him very appropriately.
Investigators found a high-powered bolt-action rifle in a nearby wooded area and were examining that along with palm prints and footprints for clues. The FBI has ordered a $100,000 reward for information leading to the killer's arrest and circulated images taken from security cameras showing a person of interest wearing a black top, black sunglasses and a dark baseball cap. Utah state officials called the person in the photos the potential shooter. US President Donald Trump and other officials paid tribute to slain right-wing activist Charlie Kirk on Thursday as the country marked the 24th anniversary of the September 11, 2001 attacks. Trump said at the beginning of his remarks at the Pentagon that Kirk was a giant of his generation and a champion of liberty. Trump announced that he would soon posthumously award Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the country's highest civilian order. Speaking at the same ceremony, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said that like those on 9/11, you will never be forgotten. Vice President J.D. Vance cancelled a trip to New York for 9/11 commemorations so he could meet with Kirk's grieving family in Utah. Authorities are continuing to investigate the cause of a gas truck explosion that led to a massive fire on a highway in southeast Mexico City on Wednesday. The tragedy has sparked concerns about industrial safety and emerging readiness in densely populated urban areas. President Claudia Sheinbaum called the event very tragic and stressed the importance of a full investigation to prevent future incidents. She also confirmed that the responsible company had valid insurance and will provide support to the victims. The blast, which happened when the truck overturned near Iztapalapa-Chalco border, killed 8 people and injured at least 94, including 28 critically. The Cuban Energy and Mining Ministry stated on Thursday that 80% of the Havana had power and most of the country's energy grid had been re-established 24 hours after it crashed, leaving 9.7 million residents in the dark. The system has been in crisis for years and has an effective capacity of just under 2,000 megawatt and a national demand of over 3,000 megawatt. Even before Wednesday's collapse, the vast majority of residents were experiencing daily blackouts of 16 hours or more. The grid failure follows 4 nationwide blackouts since late last year. A march by social organizations against Ecuador's government ended in clashes with riot police in the capital on Thursday as tensions rose over President Daniel Noboa's proposed referendum on security and political reforms. Riot police used tear gas to disperse demonstrators near the city center. Protesters criticized Noboa's plan to spend $80 million on a national referendum, accusing him of pressuring the Constitutional Court and failing to address urgent issues like unemployment, medicine shortages and lack of school supplies. Members of various civil society organizations protested against poor and repressive governance. On the same day, President Noboa led a pro-government march in Guayaquil, defending the security policies. Noboa has been fighting criminal gangs linked to drug trafficking since January 2024 with support from the United States. He blames these groups for a sustained rise in violent deaths this year. On September 11, Chile marked 52 years since the military coup that ousted President Salvador Allende and also ushered a 17-year dictatorship. Human rights groups, families of the disappeared and Communist Party members gathered at La Moneda Palace to honor the victims of the 1973 Chilean coup with flowers and acts of remembrance. President Gabriel Boric led a separate ceremony acknowledging the state's role in past disappearances and pledging continued efforts to locate the missing. Filled with emotion, reflection and renewed calls for truth and justice, thousands of protesters gathered to remember Latin America's first democratically elected Marxist president. Let's take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world. Television award shows, the Emmys, rolled out their red carpet on Thursday and gave media a sneak peek at what will happen on 14th of September. A slew of celebrities are expected on Sunday night, including Selena Gomez, Pedro Pascal and many more. Stars will attend a reception after they arrive, complete with food, drinks and a gift bag. The Emmys tease what's to come on television's big night. A long-lost painting by 17th century Flemish master Peter Paul Rubens has been found in a Paris mansion. Auctioneer Jean-Pierre Ossenat called the sketch of Jesus Christ on the cross painted in 1613 a masterpiece, who had also made the discovery. Ossenat also said that it was painted by Rubens at the height of his talent and added that the artwork was in very good condition. The painting will be up for auction on November 30th. The Oscar-winning Mexican-born director Guillermo del Toro is auctioning off part of his vast horror and fantasy collection after premiering his long-awaited Frankenstein at the Venice Film Festival. His decision was influenced by the deadly wildfires in Los Angeles earlier this year. Among the highlights in the auction are Bernie Wrightson's Frankenstein drawings, concept art from Pan's Labyrinth and Hellboy's Shotgun Big Baby. You're watching DD India News. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, stay with us for the latest on the government formation in Nepal and how the Himalayan kingdom is grappling with the political crisis. The annual joint exercise Prasar Bharati 2025 concluded in Thailand with focus on greater interoperability and exchange of knowledge and niche technology. Aiming to strengthen Navy's information and communication infrastructure, the Indian Navy will commission INS Aravali.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News. Let's get to updates from Nepal now. Dialogue with Gen Z representatives, Nepali Army Chief Ashik Raj Sigdal and President of Nepal Ramchandra Podel for appointing Prime Minister of Interim Government continued on Thursday. A decision on who will head the country remains eluded despite continuous dialogue for 2 days, held in the presence of former Chief Justice Sushila Karki and other constitutional scholars. Also on Thursday night, President Podel and Speaker Devraj Ghimre met and stressed that in the current situation, solutions may be explored within the ambit of the Constitution. So the discussion on whether or not to dissolve the parliament failed to reach a consensus. Therefore, the discussion is about to begin again today at 9 a.m. Nepal time on Friday. Meanwhile, in the capital Kathmandu and other districts including Lalitpur and Bhaktapur, prohibitory orders are issued today. The curfew is issued from 7 p.m. of September 12th, that is today, to 6 p.m. of September 13th, that is Saturday. Essential services can be operated only by public and union organizations. To make the life of the people comfortable, places of daily consumables will remain open from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. and from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Friday. Nepal is grappling with a political crisis and dialogue with different stakeholders will continue today as well. Nepali Army Chief and the President will be meeting again today, and the solutions will have to be explored within the ambit of the Constitution. As we told you, the curfew has been extended till Saturday in the Kathmandu Valley, and prohibitory orders are also imposed in Lalitpur and Bhaktapur. Our correspondent Shweta Singh is joining us with more from Kathmandu. Shweta, good morning. We've told our viewers that efforts to form the interim government are continuing. You get us the latest. We tell our viewers that the talks will begin at 9 a.m. will continue, in fact, and will start again today at 9 a.m. What more can you add?
Preeti, you see, as till yesterday midnight, there were long dialogues of meeting with various constitutional scholars, MPs, and President and Nepali Army Chief, even Sushila Karki, all had met, discussed, but yesterday no conclusion could finally come. So today again the meeting is happening. You see, Gen Z groups, there are so many groups coming up now. So it's like few are trying to be okay with getting a constitutional solution within the ambit of constitution here. Few are saying again that it's going in a wrong direction if leaders, as proposed by Gen Z, is not chosen. So there are so many discussion and debates happening. But today, but I think civil societies that have requested everybody, and as matter have been a bit quieter here in Nepal from Tuesday. You see, all civil society and political parties like CPN, UML, CPN, Maoist Center, Rashtriya Swatantrata Party, all are now giving press statements and requesting that President should be allowed to take decision within ambit of constitution, and then a solution should be within the parliament. So we have to wait and watch exactly how it will unfold. So that is one part of getting a political solution. Another is curfew has yet been imposed here till Saturday in Kathmandu Valley. And we have to even observe today how other cities, major cities, metropolitan cities will be responding for curfew, because it was only till the morning in different areas of Pokhara and other places. But in Kathmandu Valley, it has been extended to Saturday. Preeti.
All right, Shweta, thank you so much for joining in with those updates. And turning focus to other updates, Saudi Arabia Jewelry Exposition kicked off at Jeddah's Superdome on Thursday. The expo, that is organized by Gem and Jewelry Export Promotion Council of India in collaboration with the Consulate General of India in Jeddah, the Embassy of India in Riyadh and India's Ministry of Commerce and Industry, hosts over 200 exhibitors and is expected to attract more than 2,000 business visitors and international buyers. This landmark event aims to strengthen trade ties between India and Saudi Arabia while tapping into new opportunities across the Gulf Cooperation Council and global markets. India, which exported $32 billion worth of gems and jewelry in 2024-25, brings global leadership credentials to the event. Security forces in Chhattisgarh's Garyaband district gunned down 10 Maoists, including their Central Committee member Manoj, also known as Modem Balakrishna, in an encounter on Thursday. Security forces were conducting search operations to find if any more Maoists had been injured or killed in the encounter. The operation was started on Wednesday night based on information about the presence of Balakrishnan and also other armed Maoists hiding in the area. Based on the information, a joint team of the Elite 30, a specialized anti-Naxal force of Garyaband district, the Special Task Force and the Central Reserve Police Forces Elite Commando Battalion for resolute action set out on the operation. The annual joint exercise Siam Bharat 2025 was conducted from 8th to 11th of September in Pattaya, Thailand, focused on greater interoperability. The Indian Air Force and Royal Thai Air Force exchanged knowledge and niche technology in HADR, fostering mutual learning and operational synergy. The exercise reinforced bonds of friendship and strengthened strategic ties between India and Thailand. India's Chief of Army Staff, General Upendra Dwivedi, delivered a lecture to the 65th NDC course and faculty on the transformation of Indian Army and future warfare during his visit to the National Defence College in New Delhi on Thursday. The Chief of Army Staff emphasized on the decisive role and interplay between soldiers, technology and non-kinetic warfare in future conflicts. He underlined the Indian Army's technological transformation and capability development journey, driven by Atmanirbharta or self-reliance in achieving the national vision of a Viksit Bharat or developed India by 2047. The 65th NDC course consists of 124 officers, including 44 officers from 32 friendly foreign countries. Let's get you weather updates now. A deadly landslide hit Upper Rimbi in West Sikkim's Gyalsing district in midnight, killing at least 4 people, with 3 from the same family. 1 woman died during the treatment, while another remains critical. 3 people are still missing. Visuals are surfacing where police, locals and SSB teams could be seen building a temporary log bridge over the flooded Hume River to rescue the survivors. Heavy rains are believed to have triggered the disaster. Rescue operations are ongoing as officials search for the missing and assess the damage. Manas Pratim joins us on phone line from Gangtok. Manas, good morning. Get us the latest on the relief and rescue operations underway in Sikkim.
As you mentioned, there is a very unfortunate incident last night at Gajing. The place is near to the Peling. Peling is a very after the tourist destination here. And as you mentioned, 4 persons from the same family have died. 3 persons lost their lives on the spot. But the one female, she was on her way. She has been carried to the hospital, but on her way, she lost her life. And the youngest one is very unfortunate. It's a 7-year-old kid. And as you mentioned, 3 persons are still missing. I spoke to the SP of the Gaza. He said the terrain is very difficult due to the rains and landslides. And they have, last night itself they have constructed a temporary log bridge through which they have able to, rescue the 2 injured persons. 3 people are still missing, police, SSB, and the local people who have expertise on this terrain. They are trying to, find out where that missing person might have been and their location, all these things. And the senior police officials and district administration people from district administration are reaching to the spot. They are trying. They're still trying, and they will put more efforts to, find out the whereabouts of the 3 persons. But as of now, there is nothing concrete report on the missing person. But efforts are still on.
All right, Manas, thank you for joining in with those updates. Meanwhile, India's Met Department has issued a nationwide rain alert, including a yellow warning for the north interior regions. Although the southwest monsoon had weakened over the state in recent days, it is expected to intensify again. The IMD has forecast very heavy rainfall across most parts of north interior Karnataka till 15th of September. The IMD has also warned of heavy to very heavy rainfall today over the Marathwada region of Maharashtra. Similar persistent conditions are expected in the northeastern states of India. Thunderstorms accompanied by lightning and strong winds are likely in Tamil Nadu, West Bengal and Jammu and Kashmir. The IMD has advised residents to avoid unnecessary travel and take appropriate safety measures. Let's take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across India. In a significant step to enhance India's maritime security, the Indian Navy will commission INS Aravali at Gurugram today. Defence Ministry in a statement said that INS Aravali, named after Aravali mountain range, is designed to strengthen the Navy's information and communication infrastructure. The ceremony will be presided over by Chief of the Naval Staff, Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi. The Election Commission will organize a one-day workshop for media and communication officers of the offices of the Chief Electoral Officer across 36 states and union territories today. The workshop aims to emphasize that elections in India are held as per the Constitution and underline the importance of communicating the legal, factual information in a timely and coordinated manner. Chief Election Commissioner Gyanesh Kumar will inaugurate the workshop in the presence of Election Commissioner Dr. Sukhbir Singh Sandhu and Dr. Vivek Joshi. Lieutenant General Abhijit S. Pendharkar, head of Spear Corps, visited Churchandpur and other key areas in Manipur to review security and meet the troops. The visit is part of his wider review of the security landscape across Manipur. He interacted with 61 veterans and soldiers, honoring their service. The visit also included talks with multiple security forces and also focused on border safety. His outreach highlighted unity and the Army's strong bond with the local communities. You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, stocks rise, dollar falls as soft US job data fuels rate cut bets. Lakshya Sen to face Ayush Shetty in the quarterfinals of the Hong Kong Open Badminton Tournament today. And Ocean Race Europe cruises through the 5th and final leg towards Montenegro's Boca Bay. Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. President Donald Trump's administration on Thursday asked a federal appeals court to let Trump remove Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook for now. Trump moved to fire Cook in late August, but U.S. District Judge Jacob on Tuesday temporarily blocked her removal. The Justice Department on Thursday asked the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals to pause that order, which would allow Cook's removal while she challenges her firing in the court. Trump has accused Cook of mortgage fraud. The Department of Justice asked the appeals court to move quickly so that the president can remove her from her position before a September 16-17 policy meeting. Cook's lawyers said removing her now would disrupt that meeting. On Wednesday, however, the D.C. Circuit blocked Trump from firing Copyright Office Director Shira Perlmutter while she appeals a lower court's refusal to reinstate her. Let's get to action from the global markets now. MSCI's global equities gauge hit a record high on Thursday, while U.S. Treasury yields fell along with the dollar due to growing expectations for interest rate cuts as softer labor market data overshadowed a higher than expected U.S. inflation reading. The consumer price index increased by 0.4% in August, the most in 7 months. The higher than expected claims numbers solidified expectations that the Federal Reserve will cut U.S. interest rates next Wednesday and increased bets for more cuts in October and in December. In U.S. Treasuries, the yield on the benchmark 10-year Treasury note dipped below 4% a few times in the session, marking 5-month lows after the inflation and jobless claims data. In currencies, the dollar weakened against major currencies, including the euro and the yen, on the prospect of more rate cuts. Tunisia is buzzing with innovation as it hosts the second Big Tech Africa event from 9th to 11th of September. Over 30 countries and 200 startups, mostly Tunisian, are taking part, with around 12,000 visitors expected. For the first time, 30-plus international investors are attending, offering big chances for local entrepreneurs to grow and attract funding. The event brings together tech founders, small business owners, and investors to explore Africa's digital future and boost Tunisia's role as a rising tech hub. And now we turn focus to sports. We'll talk of badminton first. India's top-ranked singles player Lakshya Sen will face compatriot Ayush Shetty in the quarterfinals of the Hong Kong Open on Friday. Lakshya Sen dug deep and battled past countryman H.S. Pranoy in the pre-quarterfinals. Sen made a sluggish start, following Pranoy to dictate terms and pocket the opening game. He clawed back to win the second game and force a decider. The Indian player wrapped up the match with ease, earning his 6th win in 9 meetings with Pranoy. While Ayush Shetty, who is the only Indian to win a BWF Tour title this year with US Open crown, upset world number 9 Kodai Naraoka of Japan in the pre-quarterfinals. 2-time Olympian Sumit Nagal will spearhead India's challenge against Switzerland in Davis Cup World Group 1 tie on Friday. Sumit Nagal, the country's top singles player, is joined by Aryan Shah and Dakshineshwar Suresh in the squad. N. Sriram Balaji and Ritvik Bolapalli are specialists for the doubles rubber, while Rohit Rajpal is the non-playing captain of the squad. The opening day will see 2 single matches, followed by a doubles match and 2 reverse singles on the second day. Every match will be played as best of the 3 sets. Winner of the tie will advance to the 2026 qualifiers first round, while the losing nation will be relegated to the 2026 World Group 1 playoffs. India is yet to win Davis Cup but has finished runners-up on 3 occasions in 1966, 1974 and 1987. Bangladesh got off to a winning start in Asia Cup as they clinched a 7-wicket victory over Hong Kong in their first match in Abu Dhabi. Electing to bowl first, Bangladesh rattled the opposition's top order by removing Anshuman Rath and Babar Hayat cheaply. Zishan Ali fought back with a steady 30 runs, while skipper Yasin Murtaza scored 28 runs. However, regular breakthroughs and Bangladesh's disciplined bowling restricted Hong Kong to a modest 143 runs for the loss of 7 wickets. Chasing 144 to win, skipper Liton Das crafted a well-paced 59 runs and put on a decisive 95-run stand with Tauhid Hriday for the 3rd wicket to seal the victory. Pakistan will begin their T20 Asia Cup campaign against Oman in Dubai on Friday. Pakistan will be led by Salman Agha and their recent form has been impressive. Pakistan won a three-nation T20 international series involving the United Arab Emirates and Afghanistan. They also beat West Indies 2-1 in a three-match series. On the other hand, most of the established players of the team Oman are not with the team due to pay dispute. They last played 3 T20 international matches in February against the United States, which they lost. Pakistan team is likely to treat this game as a warm-up against the bigger challenge against India on Sunday. German club Wolfsburg has signed Danish midfielder Christian Eriksen until the end of 2027. Eriksen joins the Bundesliga club following the end of his contract at Manchester United. Eriksen made 107 appearances and scored 8 goals across 3 seasons at Old Trafford, helping United win the Carabao Cup in 2023 and FA Cup in 2024. The playmaker, who suffered cardiac arrest at Euro 2020 and has also played for Brentford, Inter Milan, Tottenham and Ajax, had recently been training with Malmo after becoming a free agent. In view of the high record temperatures and humidity, the marathon and 35 kilometers race walk events at the World Athletics Championships, which is scheduled from 13 to 21st of September, will start 30 minutes earlier than scheduled time in a bid to beat the Tokyo heat. The events, originally scheduled to start at 8 a.m. local time, will now start at 7:30 a.m. Like many countries, Japan has been hit by extreme weather this year, with temperatures in Tokyo averaging 33 degrees Celsius so far this month, on its way to setting a record high for September. The CEO of the Tokyo 2025 Local Organizing Committee announced measures to address concerns about high temperatures. These include tents at the warm-up area to lower the perceived temperature by 30 to 20 degrees Celsius and wearable devices for staff to monitor body temperature. The offshore yacht race, Ocean Race Europe fleet is cruising through the 5th and final leg towards Boca Bay in Montenegro. Departed from Genoa, Italy on Sunday, they are now heading east towards Sicily after passing near the Italian island of Pantelleria. Held under the banner of Connecting Europe, the race stretches from the Baltic Sea through the North Sea and English Channel into the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean before a finish in Boca Bay, Montenegro, the first time the ocean race will compete on the Adriatic Sea. All right, that's it in this edition of DD Indian News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD Indian News Hour.